Hi. How? Welcome to my tube, my channel. I'm Standing Turtle, Hayoka Empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed. Freaking batteries and stuff. It's the new vibe. It's the shamanic resonance. It's us raising the frequency. I know my battery drains in like freaking 20 minutes. It's weird. But I know the fundamentals about energy and technology, so nothing ever really trips me out too much. It's all congruence, and everybody's all fueled right now, and they're burning all their vibes, and they're actually draining. We're draining our own technologies. I got to meditate state I don't know, I tried for about 40 minutes or so. It was hard. It's just not the energies for it, so what do? It's been a wild day. Made cookies. I like to use ice cream toppings. You go to the snack line and there's ice cream toppings. They're all smashed up. I'm like the Ben and Jerry of can of cookies. Made the butter yesterday. So as far as cookies go, and the equivalency of let's say booze or something, I don't know, they're about 80 proof. But I got aches and pains, and I don't take things that are prescribed by a doctor because they're not in it for the spirit. They're just all about money. So I prefer natural medicine. There go my notes. Wanted to tell a story about Ernie's tomatoes. I was thinking about that because I threw out some tomatoes that I was gonna eat tomato sandwiches, and I never ate them, and it reminded me of a guy I used to hang out with. He was a retired lieutenant colonel. And after we hung out and stuff, I would go over to his house, and he grew tomatoes, and he'd let me burn CDs on his computer because he was, a retired lieutenant colonel. So this is back in the early 2000s. I mean, he had the latest and greatest, most up to date, technology. And this is before I actually went to college for computers, and I still know that what he had was really good stuff. And I burned CDs, So I still got all those CDs, just burned music, hip hop, early 2000, Lil Kim, I was like my hip hop era, all of it, Anyway, all kinds of stuff, whatever I could think of. This is back when LimeWire was a thing, file sharing, before they regulated it all. Anyway, I saw one movie opened up, and it opened up with 26,000 was the release. And I was like, wow, man, those egomaniacs are really probably freaking out. They're not making all the money they're used to making. Anyway, so Ernie's Tomatoes. These tomatoes that he would grow, and he would told me the combination of the ratio of the soil and the mix that he would use. I mean, he had it down to a science. And he was a B-52 navigator. He navigated, actually, he said he looked up one of the old flight records, and one of the ones that are forever parked out in front of Offutt, he actually navigated for. But that's all well and good until you think about what they do when they navigate, and then it's less cool. Anyway, white dudes playing chess with our lives. It's just weird. Anyway, so I was telling Mom today, there is a point to this story. I was telling Mom today about these tomatoes and how I forgot about these other tomatoes in the fridge because people don't grow tomatoes like they used to. Tomatoes don't taste the way they used to. And I'm big on taste, and I'm a clairier, all those clairvoyant things, So it's like, I'm not just biting into a tomato today, I'm biting into like history, But the tomatoes I used to eat were so good. Now any other tomato now fails by comparison. It just all fails. So my buddy inadvertently 20 years ago ruined all tomatoes in the future because people just gave up on life. And so I was just, so I was outside, and I'm freaking trying to juggle. I'm like, maybe I'll learn how to juggle. And I'm learning, and I'm juggling these rotten tomatoes just to get the time to go by. So I went and got a haircut today. I went out in 3D World. I don't like doing that. I don't like living in a city. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to my little hill, my little mountain. I think I've cleared up all my karma. I'm paying off my last debt to the city just because it's my part clean, but keeping my part of this shit, my side of the street clean. And I feel like things are gonna shift and open up for me, you know? So that's why I wore this shirt, Worlds of Fun. I got this in Kansas City, Worlds of Fun. They have Oceans of Fun right next door. Because I just always went to stuff. Everywhere. I've been to stuff all over the world. I get the t-shirt, you know? And, last two times, like, I got two, see, these, I knew these alignments were gonna, shut up. I knew these alignments were going to do this back in the Great Eclipse. I've been tracking these alignments. So I didn't know what exactly Cosmos and Universe had in mind for society. I just knew it was going to be something like 9/11, 9/11, that after it, the world was never going to be the same again. And now it's this, we've determined what it is. It's this whole spam-damak, this damn spam-gamak. And it makes life uncomfortable for people like me. Because I'm all for rules, but when they're stupid and there's not a reason for it, when someone just is making people do stuff to dance like a fucking puppet, that's when I start having a hard time with stuff. And so since all this stuff changed, Oregon's gonna stay closed because Katie Brown's a dumb bitch, and she's they get federal funds as long as they stay closed. So she has her own special interest, you know. She's got to pay for that $80 million cop shop downtown. And now that they're realizing all the cops are dirty, she's like, oh shit, you know, we can't get funding from this people anymore. So maybe we can use these emergency funds and keep everybody shut up because we're selfish bitches and we're just trying to take everybody's freedoms away because sick people don't, or healthy people don't get sick. So the ones that are staying close, because it's so funny because there's parts of the same state that it's like not infecting at all, and then there's parts that it's affecting. It's all the control freaks. It's all the people that are like, oh no, we don't have any brains. They're gonna figure out we don't know what we're doing, and then what are we gonna do? They're gonna Khaleesi us, and they're gonna throw poop at us. I wouldn't be surprised because people are pretty freaking filthy and gross. You know, the bureaucrats are in trouble. They're running scared, so they're just like trying to lock everything and everybody down. And people are just complying. So I went down to get a haircut today, and I called ahead to see what the regulations and the rules are, so I'm not stricken when I get there. And my order operation is I'll go to the restaurant next door to order to go, so Mom and I'll have a nice lunch, and then I'll go get my haircut, and then by then it's done, and then go home. I'm a planner, I'm a thinker. I know it ain't normal for people out there. I'm trying to get people to think a little bit different. So I go to the restaurant, and they usher me, and they have a table set out front. It's Roadhouse or some bullshit like that. This is the same restaurant I got hit in the sidewalk out front. I talk about it in other videos. The day my Rogue got repoed. It's repoed Rogues or SUVs. It's a wild story. I can't make this shit up. So they have a station set out front. Menus, and I'm like standing back on the sidewalk, you know, I'm like, I just want to order to go, and they're like, we need you to go inside the restaurant on the side of the building through those double doors. And I was like, all right. So I'm just doing what I'm told. I need ropes, arrows, you know. It's, boy, man, 3M must be making a mint right now. So I go inside, and the little hostess boy comes walking out. Well, if you're inside, we need you to wear a mask. And I was like, nope. Just like, looking at them, it's like, you fucking middle midgets, man. I'm like, I wanted to order food outside. You made me go inside. Wouldn't take my order. People are turning away money. So there's got to be a kickback. There has to be. People can't be this stupid. They're this stupid, aren't they? They're this dumb, aren't they? I'm not. But I already knew this like 20 years ago when America made Jackass 2 the #1 movie in the nation. See, I've known people that have been high up in government, and they talk about how they're flown around like chess pieces all over the world. They call them temporary duty assignments. And in these temporary duty assignments, they're going to fucking resorts. They're going to lavish they're living the life. They're acting like they ain't married. Because it's like Las Vegas. That's what TDI is to these people. They live different lives. They take on different personas, and we pay for all of it. And then they act like scenarios, like they're playing out in society today. They were acting like, what would the world be if, and then, okay, it's like they act this way, and then, oh, fires in California. It's like, cue this. It's like they pretend, and then it happens. They pretend, and then it happens. 9/11, they pretend and then it happens. Or 9/11, there was a show on about it like 10 years before, and then it happened. Like, if you want these towers to fall, these are the engineering things that I need to... And then it happened! And people forget because they don't watch PBS and they don't read books because they're too busy watching NFL and chasing sensations and all that freaking pervy, creepy stuff, yeah. So I'll never go back to that restaurant again. My world is small. I just need to go live in the mountains. See, because the world don't want me in it. Because they keep making these rules that I just are like, you're fucking retarded. You're stupid for listening to them. You're dumb. You're dumb. You ain't saving nobody's life. You're just showing people that you're a fearful... Dude... Politicians are the most unimaginative human beings. They're the dropouts. They're the kids that were so fucking uncool that the drama kids said, get the fuck out of here. We don't want to hang out with you. Go do your fucking debate club and shit like that. And then they got hurt. And then they started their own clubs. And then they got in government. And everybody just, wrote them off because they're just the nerds, but then they got maniacal and they got smart and they went to college and they infiltrated places like the DMV. How's that for a dance puppet dance place? If that ain't a motherfucking dance puppet dance place, who owns the road? Who owns the road? And think about the billions that they generate. California. Me, I got veterans plate, so it just says permanent plate, leave me the fuck alone, don't make me walk and stand in line anymore. And the thing of it is, it's not fair to make anybody stand in line. I did a talk yesterday about my water situation as my account. Go check that out, please. And thank you for redirecting my line of thought, Katrina, because you brought me back to the whole reason why I recognize my life freaking blew up and imploded 4 years ago. And it was completely to deflate my ego. Because I got so fucking goddamn big for my britches. I got so big for my britches. And I know that as I look at this zit. I got so big because don't you know, I worked at Offit and I did this. I worked at this company and I did this and I did all that ego. I had a house, money, property, prestige. I had it all. I've been with some good looking ladies. Can't stay with them too much. Too hard. My same flame. It's funny, we're off again. She said, nope, let's just call it an end. And I was like, alright. That was the 6th, the same day I was supposed to get a reading. And that didn't work out because I know everything's divine. And then so I was like, all right, but it's Mercury retrograde. Usually things, even endings that start in retrograde don't last forever. So I'm like, whatever. See you around. And I know this because the next day, the 7th, frickin' Nora Jones put out a song called Flame Same or something. It's something to play on that. I call it Same Flame, but it's a play on that. And I was like, well, because my same flame is Nora. It's just spelled different. So I'm just like, yep, there's separation and division. And every time we separate, I got to work more on me. So I'm doing the work. So see you around. I stockpiled these years ago. They're SPF 30 Rite Aid. I used to work at Rite Aid at Watton Arden in before I became a credit card vendor. See, that's more shit I used to do. Kitty, kitty, kitty. The karma that I accumulated in my life. I know I did some nasty shit in my past lives. I freaking know it because I came into this life and freaking had to pay it back at 10 months old, and then the accounts that I saw mom forced themselves on hers. That's karmic retribution, but I'm collecting data on every single one of these people that impose their will on other people, see? So, I'm pretty sure but like, when I quit working at Rite Aid, I love this lip balm. It's like taking your lips to the beach. It's SPF 30. They don't even sell it anymore, but when I lived in Nebraska, they didn't have Rite Aid, so every time I went home, I'd buy like freaking 2 packages of 5, so it should last me the rest of my life. And I hate the place, but, it's kind of a memory for me. So if you ever went into Rite Aid, I was the customer service one in like 1995, 1996. Marge. Anyway, I started out as the night stalker, so I'm always particular about facing stuff. See, I put myself in all these paradigms so I could just experience things, so I could always understand where people were coming from. So I try to leave things at least as nice as they were when I got there. So after I left Rite Aid, I lived with my brother and his practice wife, and they didn't feel like I made enough money, and I had had an accident with the neon, so I was in the hole there. So she was a credit card vendor, so she said, come do this with me. So I ended up freaking I was one of those jerks with the table that would give kids for a t-shirt, bag of M&Ms, here's a credit card, just don't use it. Like a kid in college isn't going to use a credit card, right? So that's karma that I had to pay off. And then later I got stationed at Offit, I talk about those stories in Offit. I got to transmute karma from there. Offit is where the Enola Gay was modified, so that's where they fixed the plane to put the bomb in that took off to bomb and kill at least 4 million people in Japan for no apparent reason. It's always an imposed threat. They're always telling us that we need to be afraid of something, but the what we're afraid of never really pans out. All the bad shit already happened. I mean, where's the security then? You get a bunch of fearful people that are scared inside, that are small inside, and they create and imagine scenarios, and then they want everybody else to act that way. They want everybody else to live in fear because they're fearful people. And didn't people see the wave? Did they quit showing that? I saw it in high school back in 89, 90. Go down that anthole, the wave. The wave. It's no different. It's like they tried to, it was based on a true story. Just to show people how freaking simple-minded people are and how they will just do anything. They will just do anything. See, I always got in trouble when I was in the Air Force for clowning around. I posted on Snapnax a picture today of my brother in 89. When he started the Guard. My dad was a merchant marine. They always did the slacker shit. He's like a lieutenant colonel in the Guard in some bullshit, down in California, They just play war, Some of us actually been there and had to transmute the energy for that bad karma too, because I actually was in the cockpit of a B-1 bomber that I'm sure not only harmed and killed thousands of not only other strangers that I don't know and their families minding their own business, sleeping in their not, but our people too, and then that mutilated our people, and that so old white dudes can get rich, and they already have enough money, and if they spent their money okay and wise and stuff like that they wouldn't have to fucking go around and blow other places up and steal. Every museum that people walk into, that shit's stolen, man. That shit ain't ours. That shit ain't ours. Smithsonian, that shit ain't ours. Did you see that dude fucking have a meltdown? Like in the Costco in Florida? Everybody's shorting out, man. Everybody's fucking losing their goddamn minds. It was like in control since 1776. In power. What did his t-shirt say? I took a screenshot of that. Dude fucking running the world since 1776. Well, check this out, homeboy. Running the world since 1776, right? He's unmasked. Now, he has his own reasons for being masked, right? But I think his DNA is fucking guilt-ridden because, yeah, you have been since 1776. But, bitch, my family line, my bloodline, my ancestors that are all standing behind me right now as I speak, right now, they're all everywhere. My ancestors, we've been here since 1500s. And oh, that matters. And the things that the planets in the sky as they are right now, when that began, because you could have come here and cooperated, but the controller, it's the heart space of the controller, they didn't do it. They came here and they fucking took. And not only did they took, they'd take our scalps, they'd just take our women, they'd take our kids, they took and they put them in institutions and they cut their hair and they wanted you to dress like you. And then still, even in the 50s, these paradigms exist to manipulate and control people, to farm people. My mom was pulled from her family because she had club feet. They said, she'll never walk if she stays with thee. So they put her in adoption. They forced her into an adoption. She lived in an orphanage for 3 years. She was adopted at 3. That's why I promise I'll never put her in a home. She will never leave my own personal care because of her separation anxiety from then. The trauma from then all the surgeries that she had and stuff like that. I ain't putting her through it again. So she, and then the story continues. So when I was born, they took one of her ovaries. They cut her uterus in half. So every month when her cycle would go in, she would go into an imbalance. Also, rich, white, big, fat pharma fucks could push Premarin and hormones, and that was their solution. You fucking made people go crazy, and these people were mothers that had kids. People know good and well about early programming and what that does, but that creates another demographic of the disheveled. But see, my whole life I've been a spiritual being looking for answers. So I've always studied psychology. I've always studied this, and so I've always my whole life I've seen the division between ego and spirit. Charlie Daniels just died. He was 82, 83 years old. He did a song, Devil Goat Went Down in Georgia. And that song is very prominent in my life, and there's points of times in that, and that was one of the ones that taught me about ego. What people do. Men, women, it don't matter what your gender is. It don't matter what your persuasion is. When people are in ego, they don't care about people. They don't care about humanity. You just don't. So unless you're gonna create a world that everybody can live in, give us people that are intolerant of this bullshit nonsense that believe in free will. I believe in free will my whole life. I used to skip school when I was 15 years old to go escort the girls into family planning. Because the God-fearing people, the Bethel people now, I'm sure they're all the Bethel people, because they have these freaking gross signs that they would put in these girls' faces, and these girls felt bad enough as it is, so we'd go escort them in, and people that are right about things are real violent about stuff all the time. Now I never put my hand on people out of anger. I haven't done it, but look around how many people have. So just pay attention to the people that are, even the sweet little sugary ones that just like to say things like, are you okay? Like to impose a line of thinking. Anyone that isn't open to just receiving how you are. Anyone that's like, calm down. Anybody that tries to put you into a place. And then look at their behavior patterns. And that's what's coming out. Our DNA is literally waking up. I stand here and do these talks as standing turtle because all of my ancestors are standing behind me, and they took the peaceful route. My mom always kept her mouth closed because they're taught to keep their mouth closed. But I'm not good with following directions, and I never did much what people told me to do just because they told me to do it, because I always saw what the people were telling people to do, never fucking did the goddamn things themselves. And I'm not going to do anything unless everybody's doing it. And so you see, you have Molly McCord did a talk earlier, and she's just talking about how these 8 masculine energies were shifting, and I'm like, oh, maybe all the pieces on the chessboard, the 8 powers, the whoever's, you know, playing the puppet, that whoever's in charge, you know, ultimately whoever has the biggest purse strings on the planet, they're the ones that are in charge, because money matters more than people. But everybody's having a spiritual awakening. Everybody's going more into ego or spirit, and they're reconciling. You know, and you know what they did to fucking Charlie Dan? I'm sure that dude did plenty of his gross shit. I'm sure he did a lot of good stuff, but like Merle Haggard, I know Merle Haggard, and freaking, I know 2 sisters that one of them was questionably underage at the time, that because they play shows, they find the girls that just, you know, are and then they do whatever they want. And this is all the stuff that's coming out because it's 2020, the year of clear vision. So people are reconciling with the masculine and feminine energy within each and every one of them. And they're gonna have to learn how to not only reconcile, but love both parts equally. Because it's people resisting that love. That's where we're seeing the meltdowns. That's where we're seeing people flip the fuck out. Is they're literally denying the vibration of love because they don't feel like they deserve it. I recognize that as something that I used to do myself. Someone asked me, like, what do you do for love and self? Dude, I meditate an hour a day, plus or minus a little bit, you know. I'm outside. Mom was outside. We were outside hanging out with the cat earlier. Mom too, you know. I was brushing her hair under the tree, and oh, look at that bird! Look at that bird! Oh, did you see that dragonfly? I mean, then I gotta go out just to get a haircut and step in and try and get some food and step into some bullshit. So, the world ain't for. Are you living in worlds of fun? I ain't living in. My world of fun is here, in nature. It's my solace, you know. I think I'll tell this story and then I'll wrap it up. I was going down an anthole earlier because the VA, I get migraines because my spine is all and I was thinking about, they gave me a machine called a Cefally, Cefally, and it has electrodes in it. You put one of like those EKG sticks on it, and then you could zap it, and it's supposed to reverse the frickin' energy of the frickin' mic. It doesn't. It's just, I don't like it. And it's because one of my favorite movies I ever saw, I was probably 14, 15 when I watched it. Maybe a little bit younger. Yeah, it's probably 12. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I think actors, they are full spectrum too, and they get an opportunity, and they get paid a lot of money to actually tap into their full spectrum, you know. So that was one of my favoriteest movies I ever watched. And Jack Nicholson was in it, and I was thinking about that, you know, because they did the shock therapy, and it freaking ruined his freaking personality, you know. And I think about all throughout history, the people that have deemed themselves certified to do things out of the name of science, out of the name of whatever, I don't know, they keep deeming themselves new authority to do weird shit. And it's like, you know, for history has designated the people that pay themselves to make up the rules, that don't follow the rules, they come up with some weird twisted shit. I know that. My dad used to work at Tascadero State Mental Hospital for the criminally insane, and these people, these narcissists, they love working in places like that because they can be sadistic and evil to the residents, and they feel like they deserve it because the people are there because they need to be there. So, you know, I had an uncle that worked in the CYA, California Youth Authority, Dude, they fucking beat the shit out of those kids all the time just because they, and dude was fit, dude. My uncle, like, last I heard, I don't know, last I heard, he just got his another motorcycle, like, right around the time, and he's near 80. So, I mean, in his 60s, 50s, he was desert racing. That's why I always like motorcycles and outdoor stuff like that, because I got it from him. Because I got it was that, that I love engines and I'm a gearhead and all that stuff. Because I'm balancing my masculine and feminine, and I know he had to have knee surgery because a bunch of kids jumped him, and I know that he had to been jumped because dudes, people don't get jumped because you're a good person. You get jumped because you're a sadistic motherfucker doing shit just because you're told to do it, because you're getting paid to do it, and then they fucking run with it, and then they do weird shit. And that's why I have a hard time with all this stuff. It's because nothing is consistent. Somebody gets a bullshit rule, and then whoever comes in the door, they treat that person different. Not everybody. It's just it's not fair. So then I don't want to be a part of the world. So I just do my videos and wait for a better day. I know. But I see the thing of it is I don't even trip. Really, because I know the astrology. I know it's coming. I know. I listen to talks all day long, every day, all day, every day. I collect data. And then I go to social media, and then I know the people, that are they're signs of people that I know. I know when their birthdays are, and I know what they're going through. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm always collecting data. So I just go to the places that give you a little bit more freedom to choose. And God, they're fucking Salem, Oregon. There ain't a lot of goddamn places to choose nothing. Do what you're told. And I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. And then they're like, you're aggressive. I'm like, no, you're really stupid. I know. I've educated myself. I'm not a risk factor. The people that wear masks, you people need to wear them because you made bad choices and made yourself a risk factor because you couldn't talk about your emotions, so you ate them instead. And now you want everybody else to feel bad about it. And you didn't, and I understand what it's like to have issues with immunity, but I also understand the work that it takes to build the strength of it up and that it can be done. And I've done the work. And so every time I see someone where I'm like, you ain't done the work in life. You gave up on life. You ain't done the work. Every time I see somebody that's like grossly obese, all I can think of is you ain't done the work. Get healthy. Do the work. Put the time, put the investment into yourself. Do it, do it, do it. You'll be much happier. For the love of God, do it. You'll be much happier. And when you're much happier, you want to be less of a dick out there. So for the love of God, go move around, dance, just get your heart rate up a little bit. 5 minutes a day, just start out little. I ain't asking nobody to do anything I did to that extreme at the time when fat dudes in the military made me go work out. So when somebody's asking you to do something, you just might want to ask yourself what their motivations are for. Because it's 2020, the gear of clear vision, it's all weird shit, and people just lie. People lie. It is the weirdest thing. They will lie just to see if people will believe it. They'll just say, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what no vibers do. They just like to stir the pot. So when you go out in the world next few weeks, and Marge and Ernies are dancing around together, temperatures are gonna be flaring. I made cookies. I ain't going nowhere the next 3 days. We're just gonna be chilling, and just watch the world go by until more and more people start getting calibrated between their masculine and feminine and resolving. Oh, I love myself. Oh, it's okay. Oh, I know you were hurt before, but you can get past it. Oh, thank you. I love me too. Oh yeah, love me. Okay. No, can you go fucking spread that love to somebody else, you bastard? Because you made people live for your ego for so long. Can't you make up for some of that? So yeah, like all those the nurse ratchets, the control freaks that put themselves in these paradigms, those are all the ones that are sorting out. There's the ones that are really having a hard time right now. Anybody in the talkie room before I wrap it up? Hi, Jody. Right on. Is that the same machine as the TINS unit? I don't know what the TINS unit is. I've done videos. I put it on. It has like the electrode. It looks like it's kind of almost like in the shape of almost like a moth, and it has the negative, positive, and it just. But it's just, and you know what's funny? Here, how about this for a racket? Is that at cost? Like if you go to the Seafleet website, this was a couple years ago because the VA sent me one, right? And I'm like, I can't pay for this, But anyway, that's what they do. Is they're like, oh, it's really. Anyway, it's all a racket. It was like $350, but the invoice that I got that it came with it in the box because it was a military deal. It's like hospitals where they charge $23 for an aspirin. Or now it's probably $150, $80 for an aspirin or whatever. Is always the joke. But that shit's real. They inflate stuff and then say inflation isn't real. Monopoly isn't a thing. But they live that way. It's the egomaniacals that are playing both sides, of the circle. Oh, it's this way, and then they're running around. Oh no, it's this way, and they're running back and forth between the red and the blue, the polarities of negative, positive, of looking at any situation this way or this way, you know. And the people give them the things by doing quizzes and stuff like that of saying what scares them, prompt it. And so anyway, that's about all I got for now. It was just a weird day. It was a very weird day. The egomaniacal, man, the puppets, man. I can't believe it's like, especially growing up watching all those movies of freaking like, you know, the underdog movies. Like, I don't know, I always watch those movies like the Bad News Bears and stuff like that, that completely just, it always had the heart. Where's people's heart freaking hidden under a mask? It's just so stupid. It's just so weird how it just like happened. See the crow back there? He's flying around. He was right there. How? Who needs people when all your feathered friends are around, right? Yeah? Me and Mom have a lot of fun. We had a good. I'm just like, I come home and I'm just like, fucking, I can't believe this bullshit, Mom. I tried to put like, cause a friend of mine gave me one. So when I go to the laundromat, I go in, I put it over one ear and then put it over one of my earphones. I wear it all wonky. That's the thing. It's just like, dude, if you're gonna make me do this, at least fucking have a little fun about it. But people are like, nope, you don't follow the rules right. Get out. And I'm just like, fuck you. You're a fucking goddamn puppet. We have free will. Frankly, I mean, it keeps going this way. I don't mind if I get the Rona and die, because this ain't no way to live, man. It ain't no way to live. We're all the faithful people, the ones that, oh, God will take care of me no matter what. All the ones that give fucking Joel Ostentine and Joyce Meyer millions of dollars every year from talking their regurgitated bullshit. And then when the hurricanes comes, Joel fucking locks his doors. Yeah. I saw Tiny K Kanye fucking, put his bid in. I put in my bid a couple years ago, Heyoka for president. Hey-ho! So, but dude just got like millions of dollars in bail subsidies, federal bailouts for his company, millions, so he can add on to his compound up in Montana. Compound, because tiny K's need a compound. That's what I'm saying. It's like people that say, I'm here to help you. Now give all your money so you can make me as comfortable as I possibly can. I'm like, dude, all that is ego. That's all ego, dude. People, do they buy this shit? They do buy it. They do buy it. They buy it. And I'm like, can I just get some fucking money so I can buy a little 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom fucking shack with a wood stove in the freaking foothills of Northern California, a little above the heat? And then I'll make my dog beds and do my photography, you know, and do my videos and spread my little rays of love and light. That's about all I got for now. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.